Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I'm doing the Booktube Spin. I've only done this one time before, and that was in January because I missed all the deadlines like last year. Found out about it too late, so I'm ready this time, and I wanted to film outside, so hopefully it's not too loud, but it's like absolutely beautiful this morning. So it is Friday, and this is gonna go up on Saturday. So today is the day that Rick McDonald has released his Booktube Spin. I released my list on Instagram previously, but I didn't have a chance to upload anything to YouTube. So I'm just gonna go through the books that I have that I selected for the Booktube Spin, and then we'll watch and find out what the numbers are. I have a nice little mix of all kinds of different genres. I have some fantasy, I have some classics, I have some nonfiction, I have a bunch of books. I think like half the books are from my Read or Rid project as well, which if you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and link it. But it's like 24 books that I need to read by the end of 2022, or I need to get rid of them. So I was hoping this would kind of push me to read some more of those. So we'll go ahead and dive into my list. First up are some fantasy selections that I made. One is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I haven't read any Robin Hobb books, and I really want to get to this one this year. I think this is on my 5-star predictions, as well as the next fantasy book that I have here, which is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, which I wanted to read last year and then didn't. And its length kind of puts me off a bit because I haven't read a ton of like high fantasy, but I have faith that Brandon Sanderson is accessible, so I just need to get over the size and dive in. Next up, I have a few classics, the first of which is The Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy. This is on my classics TBR for the year, and I think that all the classics I have on here actually are in my classics TBR. So I've been reading one Hardy a year for a while, so this was my selection for this year. I also have A Tangled Web by L.M. Montgomery. Vanity Fair. I love this edition, it's so pretty. By William Makepeace Thackeray. Oh, I lied. Two of my classics are not on my classics TBR. One is Joy in the Morning by Betty Smith. This is the same author as A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and I enjoyed that one, and I found this one at a thrift store for really cheap, and I have a friend that read it, I think last year, and really enjoyed it. And then lastly, Fathers and Sons by Ivan Turgenev. I think that's how you say his last name. I've said it Turgenev before, but I think it's Turgenev. All right, picking up at book number 8, the next section of books is from my Read or Rid project. The first one is The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. I'm pretty sure that this is sci-fi. I also have Life of Pi by Jan Martel. I've heard conflicting things about this one, and I really just need to read it. Next up, I have this edition of The Call of the Wild and White Fang by Jack London. I've read The Call of the Wild and I didn't like it, so I feel like I need to read White Fang and see whether or not I like it, because I'll keep it if I like White Fang, but I'm not overly optimistic after how I felt after reading The Call of the Wild. I also have Reckless by Cornelia Funke. This is a YA fantasy novel by her, and I have loved her other fantasy novels, but just haven't picked this one up. I have Gregor the Overlander by Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games. I think this is more middle grade than YA. Speaking of middle grade, I have The Black Pearl by Scott O'Dell. I loved The Island of the Blue Dolphins when I was a kid, so I picked this one up. I also have the next book in the No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency series. This is book 2, Tears of the Giraffe, which would be really good summer reading if this one makes it, because it's set in Botswana, so it definitely has a very hot sun summery feel. I also have The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. And then the last book from my Read or Rid project is The Frog Princess by Edie Baker. This is a retelling of the classic fairy tale. I've read one other Edie Baker and enjoyed it. And then my last 4 books are all from my nonfiction TBR. The first one being Isaac's Storm by Eric Larson. This is about the big, huge hurricane in 1900 that took place in Galveston, Texas. Heard that Eric Larson's nonfiction is amazing and reads like fiction, so I have really wanted to pick this one up. I also have The Mission of Motherhood by Sally Clarkson. I think this is mostly a parenting book, but Sally Clarkson is very popular within the Christian homeschooling community, so it may have some traces of homeschooling in there as well. I also have a biography, God's Smuggler. This is about brother Andrew, who brought in Bibles into countries that they were illegal. And then the last nonfiction is The Romanov Sisters by Helen Rappaport. I have loved Russian literature for a few years now, and I have wanted to get into more of Russian history. So it'd be cool if this one makes it, although it's a big one, which intimidates me when it comes to nonfiction especially. Okay, so those are the 20 books that I've chosen for the Booktube Spin. So now I'm going to watch Rick McDonald's video where he spins, and we'll see which 2 books I end up with. He spins 2 numbers, so you can only do 1 or you can do 2. I'm gonna try to do 2 because last quarter I did 2 and I only read 1 of the 2, but I'm planning to have a less scheduled next quarter in terms of what I'll be reading, so I'm hopeful that I can get to 2, so I'm gonna try to pick 2.
All luck. Here we go. Number 17, which I think is a new number. I don't think we've gotten 17 before.
Okay, so number 17 is in my nonfiction section of my list, and that is Isaac Storm by Erik Larson. I am really excited to get to this one. Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space recommended this book to me, so we are almost always on the same page with books that we love, so looking forward to this one. Let's find out what the second number is.
For spin number 2, here we go. Number 3. Oh. No, it's 20. It's 20. It just went over the line at 20.
Okay, so that's really funny because 20 is also a nonfiction, and that's The Romanov Sisters by Helen Rappaport. Hilariously enough, the only book that I read for the Booktube Spin last quarter was a nonfiction. So far, 3 out of the 4 books that I have gotten for the Booktube Spin this year have been nonfiction books, but that's good. It probably helps me to push myself to read them because I'm just kind of starting to dip my toe more into the water of historical nonfiction. If you did the Booktube Spin, I would love to hear from you. What did you end up with for your books? Did you do 2 or did you just do 1? And if you've read either of the 2 books I'm planning to read, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.